Okay, let's be real. Odds are we both know how this is gonna end, but indulge me for a second. I want to talk about Black Men Can't Jump.
I don't mind a little cold weather, snow or ice.
But when it becomes too intense, it isn't very nice.
To say I am obsessed with AnimatedJames would be an understatement. Like, if I go a day without watching Marvel Musical, I start having withdrawal symptoms. I need a doctor.
I wake up in the future where I have to adjust to seeing black people sitting in the front of the bus.
I was working on a much longer video about My Little Pony, but I did such a deep dive into our favorite individual that I just decided to make its own video. Plus, James' content goes far beyond just My Little Pony. Far beyond.
Bronies completely traumatized the generation. Here's how.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and assume the two people watching this video already know who James is, and I just want to give you my condolences. In case you're lucky enough not to know, James William Barkley III was an animator who liked fart porn. I mean, liked kids. I mean, made really cool cartoons like Black Men Can't Jump. I know I'm far from the first person to talk about James, but like your other two options are Turkey Tom or the guy who said somebody talking about their eating disorder was guilt tripping. Pick your fucking poison.
Then she just baited, hooked, and got you with her emotional guilt.
James first started posting to Newgrounds in 2009 when he made Sonic Chaos High, an animation he describes as Sonic and his friends are in high school dealing with normal teenage problems like girls, grades, parties, and sex. Whoa, James, you can't be making erotic Sonic content. Not yet. Later in 2011, he started going under the name Mega James Studios, a name he grew to despise, so he nuked his entire YouTube channel and said it was a glitch. Good job, Barkley. Really got him there. If you look at his DeviantArt account under this name, you can find various pieces of art, including probably his most infamous, which lingered like a bad smell for the rest of his career.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
The earliest Mega James animation you can still find is called Being Noticed. It features James trying to get the attention of his crush in various ways. Eventually, he just kidnaps her. Yep, checks out. I actually ended up finding a really obscure video he made in 2011 where he sings a song inspired by Bo Burnham, and it's the greatest thing ever.
That I'm a white guy in a black guy's body. It may be ironic and really dumb, but it's the only logical explanation for why I find Afro so unattractive.
I think his favorite Bo Burnham song is Beating Off in A minor.
His most notable animation from this time was probably Sonic vs. Rainbow Dash. Man, I wonder what happens in that one. It actually gained significant traction. It had 3.6 million views by November 2012. Then a weird glitch happened. Also, this was his YouTube bio at the time.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
After all of that, on January 20th, 2013, James creates the AnimatedJames YouTube channel. 2 weeks later, he uploads the first episode of his new original series, Seniors. It's James reliving his glory days in high school back when he was allowed near one. Also, Edgeroll's there, what the fuck? Anyway, I'm sure this series is gonna go far. I bet its second episode will be even better. Oh, it's canceled. So James made an update video blaming the voice actors for sucking at their jobs so bad that he canceled the fucking show.
However, if I'm being totally honest, there were various issues I had with the voice actors involving how things are pronounced, the quality of their voice, and the length of time it took for them to deliver their lines to me. And yeah, these are problems that were really annoying and just could not happen if this was going to be a continuing series.
If you're starting to notice a pattern of James refusing to take accountability, or just coming up with really bullshit reasons for the things he does, yeah, don't worry, that's going to be a running theme. Also, he made Marvel Musical. Anyway, in that same update video, literally mere seconds after he announces that he's canceling Seniors, he announces Seniors too. It's like Seniors, but with less James, which I think we can all agree is a good thing. This new show is called C Students, and it released on April 14, 2014. It's just Seniors again. Same setting. It's fucking several of the same characters. Why did he do this? I'm sure this series, it's gonna be different. It's gonna go far. It'll get a second episode.
You will never guess what happened next.
We don't even know what happened this time around. His explanation was posted to a fucking SoundCloud account that he deleted. Bet it was those damn voice actors again, god damn it. It would feel wrong to ignore his plethora of My Little Pony animations he posted around this time. He became pretty horse famous. Like, some of these did crazy numbers. One of them sitting at 30 million fucking views. James's popularity among the bronies got him invited to several conventions, all of which went pretty well. Except for one. BronyCon 2015. It was going pretty well at first, but then James went to the con's Brony stand-up panel, which already sounds like a great time. James described the comedians as terrible and unfunny, which, you know, that's fair enough. But then the comedians held a Q&A, and James Barkley had some questions.
If you guys aren't good at stand-up, why did you agree to do it?
This footage is genuinely hard to watch, and I am sparing you by just showing you that part. James is he's just standing there, just looking at them. He's not even saying anything. They're just like, whoa, AnimatedJames, I'm a huge fan. But you know what? In the end, I think the two comedians won. At James's panel, he also made fun of another brony artist and also made graphic jokes towards their art, which led to people then going and harassing them. There's so many stories about James just being an asshole at this con, but those are the big two. After BronyCon 2015, James made a video about the con where he was clearly very angry, talking about how bronies hate honesty.
Yeah, you ever wonder why there's a joke amongst the brony fandom that Applejack is a background character? It's because, very subtly and psychologically, bronies hate honesty. We hate receiving honesty, and we hate giving honesty. And I don't mean Ghostbusters was a bad episode honesty. I mean you suck at what you're doing honesty.
Also, for whatever reason, Applejack just like slowly fades away throughout the video. It's really fucking funny. This whole event and the way James handled it basically led to him being outcast from the brony fandom, which I honestly think is more impressive than anything else James did in his career. How do you get outcasted from the fucking brony fandom? However, in the background of all of this, James was up to something.
All I really want, all I really need, all I desire is for you to notice me.
I'm gonna try and keep this brief, but on May 10th, 2014, a thread is made on 4chan's Comics and Cartoons board with a link to a Tumblr named Sonic Girls. It's a Sonic fart fetish blog. It's ran by a user named Andy Sonic. However, 18 minutes into the thread, a user replies, "Doesn't this guy do Flash animations?" And then another user replies, "I think it's Mega James / AnimatedJames." Yeah, several people clocked immediately that this was no Andy Sonic. This was James William Barkley III. So another user and their friends asked James directly about the website, to which he immediately denied everything, and the blog mysteriously disappeared right after that. Bet it was the fucking voice actors again. On the Andy Sonic DeviantArt, he also drew multiple pieces of fart porn featuring one of his IRL friends, which, God, I hope he's lying. So now with James's fetish out in the open, rather than hide it, he chose to embrace it. He made a DeviantArt account for his activities, but he deleted it sometime after, and he had just eventually started posting that kind of content to his main account. So, obviously this is weird. I'm glad we're on the same page there, but it isn't illegal.
Sometimes
There's not much here for me. When I'm here, I don't feel free, but when I'm there, I feel alive.
I'm just gonna cut to the chase. In early 2015, James entered a long-distance relationship with a fan of his. At the start of their relationship, he was 20 and she was 16. Now, the hot take, this was bad. There's really nothing else I can say other than it just fucking sucks. Because as funny as I find James' story, this is just always gonna be a stain on it. One of many. Oh no, moving on. For the next few years, James's content output slowed significantly. His social media just became lots and lots of self-loathing, especially near the end. In November 2017, he posted a video announcing the start of his new webcomic, Off Saving the World, and this video ended up being his last actual upload. On July 16th, 2018, James uploaded a final video reflecting on his career and announcing that he was leaving the internet. He said he didn't enjoy the person he was and that he wanted to improve his mental health. And that was it. AnimatedJames was over.
That's a little too specific. Tell that to a paraplegic homeless guy living on the sidewalk with nothing to eat.
A year after James left, Awkward Marina, who was a voice actor for C Students, made a post revealing that when she was 17, James continuously tried to get her to date him, which, ew. James began harassing and insulting her and encouraging others to do the same. And yet, James stayed in the shadows, saying nothing. That was until July 16th, 2022, when James made a twit longer explaining where he had been the last 4 years. He says that he experienced a lot, came to terms with a lot, and let go a lot in order to move on from a shitty life of being a shitty person. James reflects on pretty much all of the shitty things he did, and finally, takes accountability. And this includes his creepy behavior towards minors. He ends the thread with, "I'm alive, I'm a garbage human being, and I'm trying to be less of one each day." I'm glad he finally owned up to his mistakes, but it's still fucking awful, and I really personally don't think you should support him. I mean, to be fair, fucking, he's not active, you can't really support him. James did do an interview with Daft Peanut, goddammit.
She is narcissistic, devious, compulsive liar, a manipulator.
And in January 2023, he made a final post when he announced he was in therapy and starting medication. He also mentioned that he wanted to start a new account where he didn't have to hide his identity, but it's unknown if he ever did that. At the time of writing this video, we're rapidly approaching 2 years since this post was made, and nobody has heard anything from James. It looks like, once again, he's gone.
Friend helps a friend, and I'm sleeping on the sidewalk, aren't I?
That was the story of AnimatedJames. Yeah, that fucking sucks. James has been a sort of inside joke in my friend group the last few years, and that's mainly why I wanted to talk about him, because fucking funny. I'm not gonna do some Daft Peanut, what does it mean to hold someone accountable shtick. All I'll say is, I'm glad James is getting the help he needs, and I hope he can move on. So, dear Princess Celestia, what did we learn today from this video essay? Don't draw fan art for AnimatedJames or you're gonna get groomed too.
Because I'm a white guy in a black guy's body. It sounds pretty stupid and really wrong, but it's the only logical explanation for why I wrote this freaking song. I'm a white guy in a black guy's body. Do you have any other reasoning for why I tip waiters and spell correct haters? And why I puked out a white guy's arm? Blech.